I have in front of me a USB 2.0 4K HDMI KVM switch. So it's 4-way and it's available with low-cost small parcel delivery directly from freetv.ie. So this actually is a very, very clever piece of equipment here. I'm just going to set this up as if we were using it for real, okay? So what we have over here, we'll say, imagine is we have 4 PCs all coming along. And what we have is we have it in some type of a server room, and what we want to do is we want to be able to connect directly into and display out and work on the PCs independently of each other without having to connect and reconnect monitor cables, things like that. So 4 PCs over here, and on this side what we want to have is a mouse, a keyboard, possibly a printer, okay, and then a monitor as well. So what we would do is this. Coming from the PC, we would use the 4 cables that are after coming here that have this printer type connection here, which you can see, and also your USB 2.0. So what we can imagine here is we'll see here we have 4 inputs here and we have 4 HDMIs. So when the cables for the USB element come with it, the cables for the HDMI element don't, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to push these cables in here, and we'd run this cable directly over to PC1, do the same for the next one, and then we would take the output from the back of the PC that's going to be running directly to the display or monitor, and what we'll do here is we'll just run that. We're guessing that it's going to have a HDMI output, which is pretty well the norm. So all 4 are connected in exactly the same manner coming from this side, okay? Now on the far side here, what we have is there's only 2 other things on this side that I want to cover. The first thing is, how do we power this? We're going to power it directly off a USB port. So there's a USB port on a socket, we'll say, we'll just plug it directly in. This is what's powering the actual unit. And then what we would use is, I have 4 of these cables out of the way. We actually have another cable here, which is a mini USB here. And what it is on the far side is a USB. So for some reason, there's not 4 buttons on this to allow us to choose which of the inputs to use, because remember, a switch is always choosing an input and sending it to a single output, okay? So what we're going to do here is we have this unit here, and it has a total of 4 inputs we can choose for. So we can press down on any button, so we could number these units here, and again number the PCs, and then we can choose which one we want to connect directly to the monitor. So that will connect directly in here. So now what we're going to do is we have to make a decision on what we want to connect here. So we have one USB port, it's indicated, it's a keyboard, the next one's a mouse, the next one's a printer. So if we had those peripherals, we just connect them all in here, okay? And then what we have on this side here is we have the HDMI out. So if we have a monitor here, we're going to connect it directly from the HDMI port. And also then what we have is the USB here as well, okay? The port directly on it. So what we would do then is, depending on which output we're after choosing, we're able to come along here and we're able to say, I want to output PC3 directly onto the monitor, or then you press the button again and you say, no, it's PC1, whatever like that. So you just work through the system then. So it really, it just saves on the extra cost of having multiple monitors, multiple everything, and then it saves on the hassle of plugging in and out. Once you have this set up correctly, have put on a few labels, it's incredibly clear what you're doing. So that's it anyway, an overview of the USB 2.0 4K HDMI 4K VM switch.